Today's date is Thursday, March 23rd, 2023. It's 3 p.m. and this meeting is hereby called to order. And at this time, I will ask our clerk if you would please call the roll and establish quorum.
Katie Valenzuela,
Here.
Rod Brewer,
Here.
Pat Hume, Karina Talamantes, Garrett Gatewood, Kevin Spees,
Present.
Mai Bang, Patrick Kennedy, Phil Cerna, Rich Desmond,
Alternate for certain.
Katie Maple, Sean Laloe,
Here.
Sean Farmer, Sue Frost,
Here.
Mary Jane Lopez Taft,
Here.
Linda Budge, Sergio Robles, Noel Mora,
Here.
Saul Hernandez,
Here.
Portia Middleton, Chinua Rhodes, Jennifer Larrett. We have a quorum with 9 members present.
Thank you. And I'm going to ask Councilman Brewer, would you mind leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance today?
Right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll read the statement. This meeting of the Sacramento Public Library Authority is cablecast live on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel on the Comcast Consolidated Communications and AT&T Uverse cable systems. This meeting is closed captioned and live streamed at metro14live.saccounty.net. Today's meeting will be repeated Saturday, March 25th at 4 p.m. on channel 14 and can also be viewed on Metro Cable 14's YouTube channel. The meeting will also be recorded via Zoom. A DVD copy will be available upon request no later than 2 weeks following today's meeting. The full agenda, including reports, is available on the library website at www.saclibrary.org. Members of the audience wishing to address the board should raise their hand in the Zoom program. Please speak clearly when addressing the board and state your name for the record. Comments are limited to 3 minutes so that everyone may be heard. Please also note that participation in this teleconference via telephone rather than through the Zoom app may result in your telephone number being visible to the public during the live broadcast and later telecasts of this meeting.
Yes. Thank you. And for item number 2, we have public comments on matters not on the agenda.
We had a public comment from Mark Graham of Elk Grove. He emailed it in. He's not present.
Okay, I don't know if it's necessary to read a public comment. I'm not sure what the rule is there.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
think it was a very lengthy public comment. There was a lot
Okay.
of documentation. So we'll include it in the
In-
official record of the
If
proceedings.
people want to access, they can see it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, next item, please.
Item 3.1, Friends of the Sacramento Public Library. Devon Graves is presenting.
Good afternoon, Devon.
And members of the JPA. But that for our board meeting, and we were able to fill our last position on the board, and that person will also be serving as a treasurer to the Friends Investing in the Sacramento Public Library. Please report on May 4th. Please, if you could share or retweet what we have going across social media, that means a lot to us. We really want to fundraise as much as possible to support the library and our operations as well. We had a report on the conversations that are going on about the proposed book sales policies and procedures. And we thank the library staff for those ongoing conversations to come up with the finalized document. You did hear about Book First, but again, for those of you who are not familiar, 12,000 first graders received 2 books this year and last summer. And summer reading was also supported by Book First funds. I'm happy to report that membership continues to be on the rise for the library. So we're still on track with membership rising. For Booked In, it's only March, and in January and February, they already had 2,700 hours of volunteer hours in just 2 months. So our Booked In is doing some awesome work there. And also our Booked In has an international impact. So they've been working with folks to donating books to Ghana, Philippines, Kenya, Mawali, and Mongolia. So we are really doing some great work, not only here in the community, but across the world. The affiliate support committee met and we approved our liaison, kind of restructuring the role of the system board, working with folks across at the individual libraries at our Friends affiliates. And we're hoping to come up with a training kit for our officers that serve in executive memberships at the Friends at the local level. So we're going to continue that work there. And we are just thankful for the partnership that you all provide, thankful to the library staff for the work that they're doing, and happy to answer any questions that anyone may have. Thank you for the opportunity to report.
Thank you, Devon. I don't have anyone in the queue to speak, and I'm not sure if there's anyone online that would have questions for Devon. And seeing none, I want to just say that first of all, I want to thank the Friends of the Library because over the years, and I guess I haven't been in it this long, but from the first day I came, the Friends of the Library have always been that organization that kept the library alive in the community, brought trip around the world to children in every corner of the county that may not have been able to travel, but they could travel through their imagination and through books and the fundraising and everything you do to bring new ideas on what we can do. And we really appreciate your passion for literacy, and we appreciate everything you do for the Library Authority. So thank you for being here and for your regular updates. And we look forward to more to come.
Thank you.
Thank you, Devon. Next item, please.
Item 3.2, outreach update.
Oh, where's the PowerPoint?
We have a PowerPoint for Metro Cable.
Thank you. Sorry.
And if you put those 2 speakers together, then it helps those of us that are older to be able to hear better.
Okay, good. Thank you. My name is Todd Deck, and I am the Community Engagement Services Manager for the Sacramento Public Library. I'm new to my role here, so I started in November, and I'm going to share with you all a little bit of update on outreach and I think a pretty cool program that we're kicking off soon. So the Community Engagement Services team, it actually encapsulates adult literacy, adult services, health literacy, mobile services, volunteer services, and outreach. And the interesting part about all of those sections of community engagement is that outreach touches all of them. So outreach, things are heating up in Sacramento. This is an update of just things that we've either have attended or are attending in the future. Today was the You Better Work Job Fair at the LGBTQIA Center. We had a representation there. This past weekend, we were at Sacramento Comic Con, where we saw so many costumes and so many just wonderful members of the community. And it was really a very fun event to celebrate fandom and families. And this weekend, we will be at Caltrans Clean Cal Day, which is an initiative to promote green energy. And then the last one is, and it's called Wisdom Project, which is an elder program for LGBTQIA seniors. That's happening in April. And this is just a brief snapshot of where we're actually going within the community. So the importance of outreach. These are two examples. I touched briefly on Sacramento Comic-Con. This was our opportunity to talk with the community and learn about them and learn about what their needs are and how the library can help them. And then this past January, we were at an event called Steps to College at the Mexican Consulate, which was thousands of high school seniors were bused in to learn about college and career opportunities. And the library was in this very sweet spot where we were right between the food trucks and right between the college and career fair. And people were able to come and hang out, and we were able to talk with them about how the library can help them fulfill their needs. And we also really try hard to be very intentional about what we do when we enter the community. So this is an example of an early learning program called Explore and Learn that we did this past weekend, which was an opportunity for kids to explore and learn and pick up early math skills, which will hopefully help their early literacy skills. So we try to be as thoughtful as possible and not have a one-size-fits-all approach to where we step out into the community. So, as I said earlier, we're very intentional about our approach in the community when we step out to do outreach. This is a photo of Comic-Con where we were the only seating at Comic-Con available. So we had two booths, and then we had two booth spaces, and one was a space just for furniture and for people to hang out in. And throughout the day, you'll see some teenagers that came over and just charged their phones and hung out with us. Parents came by and were very happy to have a reprieve, and especially moms that were breastfeeding to have a quiet area. And it is that idea of welcoming spaces in libraries, but we take that value actually out into the community to represent that. So one thing I've learned in my new job in Sacramento is that Sacramento is huge. And beautifully huge. And we really do try to be in as many places as we can, given our resources. We do try to use the priority neighborhoods as a way for us to determine where we're going to be, because we want to ensure that we are representing communities that maybe have not had the service that they've had in the past. But we also are at core events like the State Fair, like Comic-Con and other events. So it's always a balancing act, but this map has been very helpful to us. Librarians love maps, so it's definitely something I enjoy and is helpful to me. The other thing, some of you have a little goodie bag, and I heard you mention that you thought this was a lint brush, but it's actually reusable knives and forks and spoons. We are being very intentional with our environmental impact. So one of the pencils is actually in your pack is made from recycled denim. And then another pencil is actually made from recycled newspapers. So we really, with what we're providing to the community, we want to make sure that our environmental impact is mindful to our surroundings. And I heard some observations, but people seem to be pretty excited with the stuff we're providing. We also try with our environmental responsibility to make sure that when we're out in the community that we're connecting locally to folks there. So if we have a library person that works in a specific neighborhood, we try to have that representation there. Okay. So the next step for outreach, things are just heating up. We're working on a system-wide outreach training. One unique thing with Sacramento Public Library is that we rely on the entire staff to reach our outreach goals. So we need to make sure that our teams are fully equipped and ready to talk with the community and learn from them. The photo over there is actually an outreach kitchen, which is a kitchen on wheels. So we're hoping to take that out into the community, specifically around our Lunch at the Library initiatives, and provide food education and fun tutorials for all ages. Farmers markets seem to be very excited that the library will be coming. We kind of have an open invitation at any farmers market, which feels really great. And of course, the State Fair. So that is kind of outreach, but I did want to share with you a new series that we're doing called Enters the Chat. One of the first things that I was told when I started my job is we need to bring authors back to the Sacramento Public Library. So our first speaker coming in April is Hilton Owls, who is a Joan Didion super fan, a Pulitzer Prize winner. And he is going to be giving a talk on Joan Didion. And the thing that I'm excited about is that Hilton Owls, who's this world-renowned writer, I think is going to help remind folks of Joan Didion, the writer. But he's going to be in conversation with Faith McKinney, who is a local gallery owner. And I think it's going to be a really fascinating conversation on Joan Didion's impact on the world, and a really just fantastic talk. That is going to be on April 28th. You're all invited. Then this is the one that's I think I'm most excited about, which is the creators of the podcast Ear Hustle are coming on May 10th. They're going to be giving a talk on their podcast, which is the first podcast ever created actually inside a prison. It has won, I think, every award you can think of and has been downloaded over 60 million times. They are actually going to be in conversation with local attorney Alyssa Mack, who represents death row inmates in San Quentin. And so it's going to be a really interesting opportunity to learn how we can serve communities that have faced incarceration. So that is one that I'm very excited about. And then local queen of lesbian pulp fiction, Anne Bannon, is coming on June 22nd, we just learned. And Anne is going to give a talk on their life, their career. I think we'll also be talking about censorship, which is a big topic within libraries. And we're hoping to have Anne have a conversation with somebody from the Lavender Library that does oral history work. So these are 3 things that we've got coming up, which are pretty exciting. They're free and open to the public. And then for this fall, we are booking Casey McKeeston, who is the author of, I think, the most popular teen book right now, Red, White, and Royal Blue. It's going to be a series on Netflix. And then New Yorker cartoonist Roz Chass is coming in November. And we've got quite a few of other fun things planned. So that is just an update on outreach and some other work that we're doing at the library. Do you have any questions for me?
I see Katie Valenzuela.
Thank
Commissioner
you.
Valenzuela.
Oh, well, thank you, Chair. These are wonderful events. I really hope you'll circulate the flyers with us or anything else so that we can advertise them. Some of the folks you mentioned live and work in my district that are going to be working on these. So I'd love to help promote, and I hope my other board members will as well. So send them our way.
I will definitely take you up on that.
Thank you.
And I don't see any other names in the queue. I wonder if we have any members online who would like to speak. I don't know if they'll show up here if
There are no hands raised.
okay. Well, thank you very much. It looks like you hit the ground running and you've been busy.
It's been a lot of fun, and people really want to work with the Sacramento Public Library. So
Did you move are you from Sacramento
No.
or?
No, I actually moved here from Redding, California. So I was working for the Tehama County Library System, and I had been a fan of SPL for a long time. So it's been a dream come true.
Oh, well, welcome to Sacramento, and thank you for that very, I guess, packed. You had a
And
lot going on.
when I'm nervous, I talk fast. So I
It was
apologize.
good. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, next item, please.
Item 4, executive team report.
Thank you, Chair Frost, members of the board. I want to highlight a couple items from our written report. The first is an item about the Carmichael Library. We installed some temporary fencing there to help with some issues with loitering and trespassing and vandalism. And we're working with the county to program the installation of a permanent fence around the property line to help delineate that to assist law enforcement in enforcing the appropriate ordinances for using the library after hours. We're also working with the jurisdictions for that to occur at a couple other locations. And as we have those details finalized, we'll share them with members of the board. This is a continued problem that we are trying to solve, is to make sure that our buildings maintain safe or maintained in a safe fashion. And we are finding that after hours trespassing and is leading to vandalism and destruction of some windows and other things. So we're hoping that this will help prevent those from occurring at these locations. Other item is that we were honored to be the recipient, the library was the recipient of a Congressional Gold Medal. This was an act passed a number of years ago by Congress recognizing Chinese American World War II veterans. And with a coordinated effort with the Chinese American Citizens Alliance, brought one of those medals here to Sacramento. And it was gifted to us. And so it is in our Sacramento room. We're working on a permanent display to recognize and honor the veterans from Sacramento who were Chinese American for their great service during that war. This week, one of the items that Todd mentioned was our health literacy. And this week at the Valley High North Laguna Library, a telehealth booth was installed. And this is a grant-funded opportunity from the National Library of Medicine. And this booth will allow customers to have a privacy, to have telehealth visits with their medical providers. So we encourage you to go take a look at that if it's something that interests you. This is a pilot. We have just one at the moment, but we're going to see how successful it is and in meeting the needs of the community so that those who might need a private place to have a health conversation with their medical provider can come to the library and do that. That's also working. We're also working with a nonprofit to have that accomplished. That's not something the library is doing on our own. We have community partners helping us with that. And lastly, we had a number of staff who attended the Joint Conference of Librarians of Color. This is a conference that happens every 4 years, and we sent a robust contingent of about 6 to 8 staff members to attend. And they found it very worthwhile. And we were glad that we were able to send staff to learn how we can help represent and serve all of our customers. And it was really a worthwhile experience for all of them. I think they came back with lots of good ideas and networking connections on how we can better our services for our customers. And that's the extent of the things I'd like to highlight, but I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have from my report or other issues.
Thank you, Peter. I do not see any questions from the board. Thank you. Next item, please.
Item 5, information. There are no questions.
I don't know if Johnny's on the phone or, but I don't see anyone in the queue with questions regarding informational items. I did want to thank Peter Coyle for taking time to bring me up to speed on what I missed in the last February meeting. And I heard that there were some workshops for the new members who the library board probably at a glance seems simple, but the finances are a little bit complicated and different than what we're used to in other boards. So I think it was from what Peter told me, that it went very well and it was well received. And so I know I would appreciate it if I came in to have that. So thank you for that, Peter, and staff who participated in that. And so we'll move on. If there are no questions, and there don't seem to be, we'll move on to consent items.
6, consent.
And do we have any members who wish to pull something from consent or discuss anything? Seeing no hands raised and no one in the queue, do we have any public comment on consent?
There are no hands raised on the Zoom.
And so at this time, I'll entertain a motion. I saw, I heard several all at one time. Director Orozco and Talamontes and Director Valenzuela seconded. And a roll call vote, please.
Katie Valenzuela,
Yes.
Rob Brewer,
Yes.
Karina Talamontes,
Yes.
Derek Gatewood, Kevin Spees,
Aye.
Mai Vang, Patrick Kennedy, Phil Cerna, Rich Desmond, Katie Maple, Sean Malloy,
Aye.
Sean Farmer, Sue Frost,
Aye.
Mary Jane Lopez Taft,
Yes.
Noel Mora,
Yes.
Saul Hernandez,
Yes.
and it's unanimous with 9 votes.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Item 7.1, amend the library director's employment contract.
So I don't know if our if our authority board council is going to comment.
Yeah, I would just offer a little bit of background. There's a staff report, but at the February board meeting, you did conduct a performance evaluation for the library director. It was a positive evaluation. Based on that, his contract does allow for an increase in his base salary, should the board choose to do so. That is something that has to be discussed and voted on in open session and with the opportunity for public comment. So we brought back the contract amendment at this meeting for your consideration. It does include a 3.75% increase to his base salary for your discussion and consideration.
Okay. And I was not at that meeting, but I had the opportunity to give Peter my thoughts, which were all positive regarding his service to the library board. I don't see anyone in the queue to speak. I wonder if we have any public comment on this matter. Okay. Oh, Director Brewer.
Thank you, Madam Chair. No, it's in the meeting that we had and the evaluation that we did for Mr. Coyle. I think he came away with all aces. And I think one of the things that was brought up by Director Gatewood is that it's been some time since Peter had received some sort of a bump in his pay. So the contract that we all discussed definitely reflects where we were all heading in that direction. And I think we're all in consensus with the actual contract that we have before us today.
Thank you. And Director Budge.
That's me. It's Director Talamontes.
I'm sorry.
It's just the names are off.
I
'cause
thought maybe
don't know,
she
it
was
wasn't working.
online. I'm
No,
sorry.
that's okay. Mr. Coyle, thank you for your year of service and coming into the Sacramento Public Library and filling big shoes. You know, Rivka did an amazing job and you're doing an amazing job. So keep up the good work. Our libraries play such a big role in the lives of our families in Sacramento. And just continue leading with love and compassion and just working hard. Thank you.
Well stated by both of you. Director Laloe.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just kind of going with what my colleagues have stated already. I really appreciate your commitment to the libraries and especially when it comes to our youth. Congratulations. Thank you. You know, I like to see a little bit more activities in some of the more underinvested communities, if possible, especially summertime coming up, so we can have more things for our kids to be preoccupied. So, with that said, I really appreciate your commitment, and I really appreciate how you make yourself available if we have any questions. And also, I noticed that with any activities within the libraries, we're getting immediately emails from you. So again, appreciate that as well. Thank you very much.
And I know that lately there's been a lot going on at the library. So I've been noticing all those emails too. You guys have been busy. So thank you, Peter, for your service and your dedication and commitment to the library. And we appreciate your hard work. And at this time, I will ask the board members if we and entertain a motion. Thank you, Director
Second.
Brewer, and seconded by Director Laloy. And roll call vote, please.
Katie Valenzuela,
Yes.
Rod Brewer,
Aye.
Pat Hume, Karina Talamontes,
Yes.
Garrett Gatewood, Kevin Spees,
Aye.
Mai Vang, Patrick Kennedy, Bill Cerna, Rich Desmond, Katie Maple, Sean Laloy,
Aye.
Sean Farmer, Sue Frost,
Aye.
Mary Jane Lopez Taft,
Yes.
Noel Mora,
Yes.
and Saul Hernandez.
Yes.
And it's unanimous with 9 votes.
Thank you. And now for reports, ideas, questions from board members. Anything you want to tell Director Talamontes?
So I've gone to the South Potomac Community Center twice this week. Once to take my nephew just to read a book. And then I saw the calendar of activities. So I went on Wednesday, going again tomorrow, and I'm a regular already. So it was my nephew's first time. He's 2 years old, going to the library, and we had playtime, and there was like 25 kids, Legos, bouncy balls, markers. Like, gosh, the activities the library had lined up was just incredible. And to see the diversity of people in the room just playing, talking, having conversations, it was just such a good experience. So thank you to our staff at the South Potomac Community Center.
Thank you, Director Laloy.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a question. I received an email, and I'm pretty sure all of us did, about the temperature of one of our libraries. Has that been looked into and resolved?
Yeah, thank you, Councilmember Lowe. Yeah, that was the public comment that we mentioned earlier. And yeah, we we are in communication with the city of Elk Grove, who owns that building and operates the HVAC system to address those concerns. So we are working on that issue.
Great, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
And I know next month we have National Library Week. Did you want to make any comments about that, Peter?
Yeah, we will have some more things at that meeting, some proclamations and things, but we are working on some plans to recognize staff and other groups during that week.
That'll
So
be fun.
Stay tuned.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, and I don't see any hands raised online. And so at this time, we have a special adjournment for our meeting. Before we adjourn our meeting, I don't know if you had comments before we move to adjournment, Peter.
I don't have any specific comments, Chair Frost, but I do appreciate the dedication this board gives to the library and really appreciate the service that you give to us. And yeah, we do have a special adjournment, and I'll let the chair handle that.
Thank you. Well, it's always difficult to say goodbye to a friend, and we a couple of weeks ago lost someone special to the Library Authority. Linda Bamer was a former librarian, reporter. She was an editor for the Sacramento Bee from 1983 to 2012. She joined the public library as an internal communications analyst and a clerk of the board from February 2013 to June 2020. Linda was a wonderful colleague, friend, and an amazing editor with a passion for the correct use of comma. The Sacramento Public Library was better off for having her on our team. And I want to say that I heard, that she was highly regarded among her peers. And I know there are some here today who really cared about her and were very close to her. And so it's difficult. She loved dancing. She was a great conversationalist. She loved her dog, Birdie. She's survived by her son, his wife, and 2 children, and her grandbabies were a great source of pride in her life. And so it's at this time that we send our deepest condolences to her family, and may she rest in eternal peace. And we will adjourn in Linda Bamer's memory. Thank you. This meeting's adjourned.